to their first class. Today's Thursday, September the 4th. My name is Milorad. I'll be teaching this digital imaging class that you guys have in the graphic design program. I want to welcome all of you. It is an exciting class to teach and also to learn on your end, I'm sure. And I'm sure you guys will have lots of fun at the same time. All right. Besides me doing the introductions and getting to know everybody by their faces very quickly, I don't know if you guys did your introductions in the other classes. I'll leave that to the other teachers, maybe the first day you guys had on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever it was. We're going to just move along with my explanation for the course. I'm going to share my screen right now, and we're going to get started. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And usually I always ask my students if they can see my screen. I think you guys can see my screen okay. Give me a quick thumbs up if you can. Thank you. That's awesome. Very good. All right. So what I'm going to do is first ask you to, well, look at your Blackboard. Usually I do a course copy. The last time I taught this class was in the winter time of this year, because we have a second semester. I also teach the UX class, and that was in the summertime. So I do the digital Photoshop, digital imaging class, Adobe Photoshop in this program here. I also do another program. It's called Web Design and Development. For that one, I do what's called it's web production techniques. It involves using Illustrator and Photoshop in a web production type of manner. So aside from that, I also do the UX class, and that's something that you will have me for. I think it's January of next year. So that's going to be our winter start. And I'm also doing that particular class for you guys. So you're going to see me again. That's going to be in person. Okay, maybe we'll have an online class here and there if we need to, but usually that one's delivered in person, like most of your classes are for this semester. The reason why they made this one online, it's so because they can, I guess, not just fill up more seats, but it's one of those like an elective classes that other programs can join as well. Okay, so it's like a Photoshop, as you know, it's a very popular application. I've taught Photoshop on many levels, not just graphic designers. I've taught interior decorators, interior designers, fashion marketing students, business students from the Business School of Humber, sales and marketing, many different channels of expertise and other industries are learning Photoshop for the same reason, to be able to deliver not just photo imaging techniques, but also some creative designs as well, as you will learn how we'll explain in this class. I'm going to ask all of you if you can mute your mics, please, because sometimes the mics do get a little disruptive as I'm teaching you guys. So just make sure all your mics are muted. Alrighty. And then this way we're going to go smoothly with the explanations and stuff. All right, perfect. So as I was explaining to you guys, this is the only online class you have, GDPW 112 RNA, that's your course code. You will see more content uploaded here as we move forward. Right now, as you all figured out, this is our main virtual class link. That means every time you click on this link, you join this class on a Thursday morning. This link will be activated shortly. This is our YouTube channel for the lectures. So yes, you can watch this video another time. And for the purpose of, applying common sense, if I'm teaching this online on a screen, we have the technology at our fingertips, why not record the lesson so you guys can watch it later and it'll help you? So that's the whole purpose why I'm doing this. I don't have to do this. I did it because my students are really appreciative of me doing it, and because it helps you guys, and it's nice to keep a record of what we're doing here. So that's the main reason, and this is why we're going to keep doing this ever since the pandemic days. Don't want to go back to that, but that's what we started doing even back then. We had to last minute switch from in the class to online delivery. Everything had to get set up that way. Now, I've been teaching online for a while now, not just at Humber College and other schools as well. So the delivery is pretty universal in all aspects with, delivering this thing virtually, not always recording the lessons, but also even doing an online exercises and stuff. What I like about this is because you can interact with the students like I am right now with you, and we can always share information back and forth. Um, Daniel, do you have a question? Go ahead.
So this means that next week will be in class.
Sorry, Daniel, you got to speak up one more time.
Sorry, I don't know how my mic will really works.
No problem. I can hear you, but kind of not as clear. Can you repeat your question, please?
Does this mean next week will be an in class? Class will be in class.
No, no, this is an online class. This is the only one. You're gonna have to do this virtually with me.
All right.
Yeah, every other class that you have is in person, but this one is online. I'm assuming you guys don't have any other classes today, do you?
We don't.
Okay, so today's your stay home day, which is kind of nice, right? You have me in the mornings, then you get to do whatever you want afterwards. So you have like a day off, basically. Speaking of a day off, when is your day off? Do you guys have like a day off at all in the week? Like a Monday or a Friday?
We have Monday and Wednesday off.
Come on. Really? Wow. So you guys have a nice schedule then.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. You have a long weekend every weekend. Monday's off, and then in the middle of the week you have a Wednesday off too. So I know you have probably a heavy Tuesday, a light Thursday, and I'm sure you have a heavy Friday as well. Heavy meaning probably two classes or more. So good stuff. I always like to hear good news from scheduling type of scenarios. Sometimes schedules don't always work out, as you know. Sometimes you have a class in the morning, then you have like a big break, like a 3 hour break, then you have another class after that. That happens because of the room availability and things like that, right? So again, just to answer David's question again, yeah, this is online every day, every Thursday. Okay, Daniel. So that's good. You have another question, or you guys are okay? Daniel still has his hand up, so you can put your hand down, Dave, if you want. You can leave it open. That's fine. But did you have another question, or you're good? Okay. All right. Let's keep going. So then we have the virtual class link, as I explained earlier. This will be active soon as we go forward. This is very important. I had to update this as I transferred the course from last semester. The Adobe Creative Cloud license info. You have to all get the Adobe Creative Cloud applications, as you know. We used to use another portal called Humber on the Hub. No longer. I'm sure the other teachers explained this to you, so I'm not gonna just tell me if I'm kind of going over stuff you already know. But you got to do this as soon as you can. The deal, like, this is what you normally pay as a student. As a professional, you pay $1,000 a year. It's actually a lot more. It's $80 a month. As a student, you get a discount, so you pay like $467. However, if you guys go to this link right here, okay, if you click on it and you fill out a form, I made my students do this yesterday. You only pay $175 for the year. This is, I think, a one-time offer because you're in school, plus tax, plus I think this comes out of your tuition if you guys have that. And the $25, another student explained this to me yesterday. So it's like 150, I think, at the end of the day, by the time it's all said and done. So you're getting a really good deal for having this whole Creative Cloud suite because you get everything. You get Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Dreamweaver, Adobe XD, Premiere, After Effects, Adobe Animate. Okay, just to kind of show you some of my tools here. These are the programs that I use, right? So there's Premiere, Audition for audio, Dreamweaver for web design, Adobe XD, Adobe InDesign, your page layout class that you probably have or you're gonna have this week. Premiere Rush, a basic video editing software, which is a shoot from Adobe Premiere, a more professional editing tool. But this one I really like because it's simple and you can do quick edits with it. Adobe Dimensions, that's your packaging application. You want to do like professional packaging, wraps and things like that, you can use Dimensions. Media Encoder, You can actually parse different file extensions and formats and convert file structures. Adobe Animate, this is a offshoot from Flash. I don't know if you guys remember Flash from the Microsoft, Macromedia days, and then Adobe owned Flash up until probably 10 years ago or so. They discontinued it. So there's no longer Flash. It was a big thing back in the day because I used to teach Flash like 3 times in a week sometimes. It was such a popular program. Now it's called Adobe Animate. So it's an animation tool that you can produce your own motion graphics and stuff like that. Speaking of motion graphics, there's a more advanced tool called Adobe After Effects. That's what the professional use for motion graphics, whereas this is more strictly for like animation, characters, and things like that. So those are like some of the main programs that I like to dabble with, but there is definitely more when you purchase the Adobe Creative Cloud. You're gonna get, I think there's like another 10 or something like that. So you're getting a really good deal because back in the day when I was a student, these programs cost thousands of dollars. Like Photoshop would cost like, $1,300 or $1,500. Illustrator would cost close to $2,000. So for you to purchase these programs, it'll cost you like $10,000. And that's the updates are extra too, right? So now that you have this, Microsoft did this, Adobe, all the other main, app developer corporations, to avoid also piracy too, right? That's the main reason, I think. You pay a monthly subscription and you get everything basically. I think it's a pretty good deal. So aside from that, guys, not trying to sell you this, but trying to cut you guys a deal so you don't pay more money than you have to. Fill out this form, okay? And you pay this. Don't be paying this much, okay? Because if you do go as a normal student, you are getting a deal, but it's still $400, $467 for the year. Whereas this one you get it for $175. So what you do is you click on this link, you fill out this form. I told my students yesterday to use their Humber email if they can, because sometimes the Gmail gets a little confusing with the Adobe. I guess I gotta sign in with this here. So there's the form, okay? See, $175, Creative Cloud license request. You put your name, your Humber, student number, what program are you in, your preferred email. Okay, so I guess you can use your Gmail or whatever if you want, but I know from the other portal we had with the applications, students had to use their Humber email. I don't think it's required for this. Don't hold me on that. Let's find out. Because I think with this, it validates your student ID. So this could be any email, I'm assuming. Okay, so just make sure you keep record of what you enter and how you follow it up with, okay? And you submit it, and it takes you 2 seconds to do this. So do it as, I'm sure you already done it already, because the other teachers should have explained this to you, but in case you miss something, there's the spiel, okay? All right, my bio, okay, as you know already, my name is Milorad Eftosky. Of more than 20 years now. I've been not just teaching, but also, professional in the industry. I do a lot of different roles. One was a senior designer for different companies, Dye and Durham, marketing, advertising. I got my own company called Creative Group. I also like to teach, as you know. It keeps me always on the edge of learning new things and empowers my students, not just online, but in person as well. And I like to work with different industries applying the same skills. My email is miloradeftoski@humber.ca. Better yet, if you want to have any type of question or comment, you can also direct me here under messages. So you go under messages right here. So you click on messages and you can message me. When you message me, by the way, or your other teachers, make sure you check this box on, because this sends an email copy as well. Like we all have busy lives. I'm sure you do as well, right? So beside teaching here, I do other things too, right? I run a company, I do different things. So I have like 5 different email accounts. So it helps for you to do this. So make sure we don't miss anything, because sometimes emails do slip. We do try to respond between 2 to 3 business days. So if you do send email copy, we're more likely to get the actual notification. So make sure you do that, and this way it'll come through, okay? And this is how you should message me, and I not only I'll reply to you through Blackboard, I'm also going to get the email as well. Okay, so that's how you do it. As you know, this is your main Blackboard bird eye view, so you can see all your courses that you're taking. I want to show you this because I don't know if you know how to kind of see things clearer. If you click on calendar on the left tab here, when you're outside all your courses like this, the calendar gives you a bird's eye view of everything. So if you click on month, it shows you all your due dates for all your assignments. It's a good way to keep track of everything. You can also do this individually for each class. So you could go and, courses, let's say click on my class here, and then go to your, calendar and stuff under calendar here and go to month view. But this only pertains to this class. Whereas the other way, doing it this way, gives you all the classes. Okay, so people mix this up. That's why I'm explaining it to you. Messages in general are your messages that you get. There's your grades, okay? And everything else is pretty self-explanatory. You just have to get used to the navigation and everything should be okay. So more importantly, you click on the class, make sure you communicate with your teachers. Whatever is due, make sure you're on top of it. Don't wait till last minute. Okay, that's the number one thing. Because if you wait till last minute, you might get caught up with, due dates and things like that, the penalties. Course outline and critical path. Every class should have this. So the course outline is a formal way of explaining what the course is. As you know, this is the Adobe Photoshop class. So it deals with the latest trending software of Adobe Photoshop. And it is the most powerful digital, imaging program on the planet. It's so powerful that they even use it in normal vocabulary now. People say like, did you Photoshop that? Or is that Photoshopped? It's like everyone knows Photoshop at this point. Whereas 20 years ago, only professionals knew Photoshop. All right, so this is basically, I'm not going to read this to you guys. You guys can go through it yourself. But we're here to learn the fundamentals of develop mental skills in Adobe Photoshop, which is an essential software in various industries, especially in digital imaging, for both print and web designers. So yes, this is an introduction course. I noticed a few students in my roster that I had in my other web development class. I just want to ask you to be patient because I have to, of course, teach the students this semester the basics as we go towards more the intermediate advanced topics. Okay, so then I'm sure your challenges will be met as we're gonna introduce more print design techniques. Where in web development I don't teach the print side, I only teach the web side. So we do things like animations, web preparation, prototyping, things that we're going to be designing for the web and social media, of course. Whereas this course is not just web, it's also for print. So it's a little bit of both. It's, 14 classes or 15 weeks in total because we have the break week in between. And it's supposed to help you understand pretty much everything that the program can offer in terms of you being a designer and delivering all the deliverables that are due. Now, here's your assessment way in. You can have an ad campaign given to you by, I think, Roberto, your page layout instructor, and then you're going to have a composite number 2. This will be the concept album campaign. I think we're going to leave this alone. We're thinking about changing it, but that's going to be your second composite assignment. These composite assignments, what it means is they interact with other classes. So this will be a deliverable for my class, your page layout class, and maybe your web class. Actually, no, maybe the web comes after, and your digital drawing class. So all 3 classes will partake into this delivery. That means you might do the logo in Illustrator. You might do the image editing techniques in my class, the Photoshop, to clean up the photos, crop them, take out the background, utilize them in the ad. And the page layout techniques are going to be done in Adobe InDesign, which is how you're going to prepare the ad campaign. Could be like an actual ad that goes in a magazine. So that's what the ad campaign is. It's probably like a 3 ad campaign, which is 3 different adverts that go inside the magazine publication. Ad campaigns, vary from different types. There's, of course, media ad campaigns like commercials on television, YouTube, social media. Right now, you have so much different types of advertising that you can transfer these skills in many forms. For this one, it's strictly print because we want to teach you how print is still an essential part of creating ad campaigns. There's like still millions, if not billions of dollars invested in ad campaigns for print still. Print's not gonna go anywhere. People still like the nostalgia of holding something in their hand, touching, something tangible, looking at an ad on a billboard, whether it's a bus stop or a stadium. Yeah, there's the digital ads. Like I do digital marketing myself a lot with the digital ads, but print is still gonna be around. Okay, so that's why we're gonna focus on print. This one's gonna be more digital, okay, and print, so it's gonna be a mix of both. And then you're gonna have in-class exercises that I'm gonna give you here every other week. I'm gonna give you something to do. And then you're also gonna get 2 projects. So there'll be a few deliverables in this class. As long as you stay on top of this, guys, it's pretty simple. Okay, it's not that hard. You just have to kind of make sure you do the work, and you should have no problem doing this. Okay, so that's a total of 100%. And of course, your aim is to go anywhere 80% and above, because that means you're an A student. 80% is considered like A minus or A, and if you get 90s and up, it's like A plus. And below 80, 70s, I mean, it's not that bad, but you're in the B, C category. Okay, so try to get 80s if you can. That's your goal. Okay, or 90s, I should say. Aim for the best. But we do have a rubric we have to follow, so we can't just give you guys 100% on everything. We have to kind of go by the college type of requirements. So just take that into consideration as well. We're also back to grading. I grade you guys as students, not as professionals. So if you were graded as a professional, your grade will vary as well. So I also take that into account when you do get your grades, okay? Just so you know. All right, this is the modules here. I have a better, I guess, format for this to share with you as we have the critical path, okay? But this is some of the stuff we're going to be learning. So digital drawing techniques, in Photoshop, of course, aside from Illustrator, post-production techniques, optimizing web imaging techniques. So things like that we'll be learning here. And this is the formal course outline. Now this is more important here, the critical path. Again, every class should have this. And what this shows you is your timeline of everything that's going to be coming up and what's going to be due. So we have week 1 all the way down to week 15 is your reading week. That's your week off. So that week you get to relax, digress, and do your thing, right? Maybe take your catch up on some assignments that are due at school, and also try to have some fun with your personal life as well. We all need a break from time to time. As you're in school right now, you have to literally kind of lock in and focus on what's at hand. So you do have a nice 7-week intense schedule here, okay? Because that's how we can give you guys this, certificate program for the time that you're here. So week 1, you have whatever the description is here, demo of basic covered in Photoshop, selections, interface, file formats. We're going to do some of the stuff today. I'm going to do some hands-on stuff with you. And then we have an exercise 1 I'm going to assign to you as well. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do. Second week, third week, fourth week, as we go right down to the bottom of the weeks, we do presentations for the final composite project. Okay, so this kind of keeps everything in line, and you can see where everything is due, right? But I like to still use the calendar. Like this is good. Sometimes even this gets adjusted. Let's say we have like a holiday. We had a Monday holiday right now, like Labor Day. So we have to maybe move over one day or 1 week to the next week. So sometimes this does alter from time to time. But to be very, very clear, it's always good to check the calendar from your course. Just calendar right here. All right. So that's very important. You keep an eye on this. I would download this if I were you. Just do one of these, download original file, and you have it in your computer. All right. Also, I would advise you to use a mouse. If you're not used to using a mouse, something you should invest in. It's so much easier to use these programs with a mouse because you're gonna have your all hands on deck. I don't know if you guys have driven a standard vehicle before, like a sports car that has a clutch, a brake, a gas, a shifter. You need both hands at all times. Same as using your laptop. You gotta uh, approach it like a performance machine. I would use a mouse with my right hand as I'm moving my mouse right now. I have an actual Mac mouse, and my left hand is always on the keyboard, so I can kind of hold the space bar, command, option, shift. So both hands are always involved when you're doing these things. When you're in Photoshop and Illustrator and InDesign, you need to kind of, you know, um, I guess, adapt to these behavioral little nuances and techniques because you get better at it. Okay. So not to get too tedious, but these things are important. Um, so class modules, this is where your class modules will be. I only released 2 right now. Why don't I switch my student view to see what you see? I'll start my preview right now. So now I have a student view. All right, so we went over the course outline and critical path. I did ask you to download this. Okay, so I'm going to be very specific. This is your license, as you know, class modules. So module 1, Intro to Photoshop. Today we're going to cover this. And you have some Photoshop tutorials link. That'll give you some extra online video tutorials made by the Adobe Professionals team. Okay, so these guys are the ones that make the software, and I'm sure they do a better job than YouTube, I think, with explaining certain things. So if you click on this link right here, it'll actually take you through the Photoshop workspace basics, and you can watch these nice tutorials and keep going to I think there's other videos as well. See here?
When you're just getting started with Photoshop, it's helpful to understand the workspace right from the beginning. Knowing how to work with the workspace elements and how to zoom and pan around your image will make it much easier to work on your creative project.
So I like that approach. He's keeping it simple. He's going over the basics, and that's pretty much what you need to do. Okay. So I'm not gonna play a video unless I think one time I'll play a video for you guys to watch certain things, but I'm the video. I'm the one that's delivering this, so I'll be doing my best to explain things to you as we move along. Exercise class 1 example. So if you click on that one, this is something that we're going to create later, an abstract design. So you're going to make this from scratch. We're going to throw some AI elements in there as well. We're encouraged to introduce AI to you in all aspects. So Photoshop does have a great image generating feature, which includes an AI generator built in. And we can build an AI integrated design with this. Okay, so it'll be kind of cool with the things that we're going to do today. Okay, so this is just something we did last semester, and this is your abstract challenge. So not only are you going to participate in this challenge today, you're also going to submit this as one of your assignments as well. So there's 2 submissions, but you're doing the same thing. So you don't have to do 2 separate assignments. I just want you to be quite versed into working with the platforms. So if you click on this challenge here, you're going to upload, okay? You're going to attach the exercise that we're doing today, and you're going to post it, okay? But for next week, either you want to give me the same thing or something else, you can also hand it in with your assignments, which is something I'll show you in a moment. And this is module 2, by the way. So we're going to start with that next week. I'm not going to get into it today, but next week we'll talk about module 2, which is introducing you to introduction to selections and intermediate use of selections and layers. So we're going to do that next week, okay? This is your main projects right here. And yes, the most popular, infamous movie poster project will be assigned to you. Also, next week we'll talk about that. Okay, so don't worry about it now, but there's your main projects, and there's your modules, and and everything else is there. I'm just looking for the assignment here. Yeah, I think I have to. It didn't copy for some reason. I'm gonna get you guys the assignments copied as well. We're gonna have to copy them. I don't know what happened to the assignments. Okay. Well, there's an assignment I'm gonna give you guys later. So maybe when we grab a break, I'm gonna come back and bring it in here. Maybe I have to release it actually. I'm gonna exit student view. See if I have it here somewhere. There we go. It's hidden. That's why. Color abstract exercise. So what's today? Well, this is due next week. So we'll back now. So as I was saying, your first assignment that I'm going to give you today, after you warm up with me using the Photoshop program, there's your class exercises slash assignments. It's the same thing. This is your main project. So there's your, 2 areas that you want to check from time to time. And the first assignment is called the color abstract exercise. No better way by introducing Photoshop to you by showing you how selections and colors work together in a digital platform. So by clicking on this here, you can see exactly what you're doing. They changed the interface a bit. It used to show up. You might have to take an extra step by clicking on here called View Instructions. So you have to click on View Instructions, and then you'll get the things to pop up. It's just how it is, guys, okay? So assignment instructions. For this exercise, you will be designing a multicolored design composition done in Photoshop in order to create an abstract design. Using basic selections and color fill techniques should be enough for you to demonstrate this creative skill. Saving a Photoshop, which is a PSD format, as a final submission should be good to hand in. Now, this is the exercise. So you're going to do this for next week. See, this is due next week, 9/11. Okay, so September 11th, 2025. I'm going to a Blue Jays game that day, but that'll be after the class. So you guys will hand this in the morning at the end of the day. So you have a week to practice and get familiar with this, okay? Now you have also the, if you go to the class modules, the intro to Photoshop, you have this abstract challenge. I'm not always going to do this. It's just the first day I want to get you familiar with different things. I want you to be able to go and navigate yourself. So this is something you're going to hand in today as we practice this. You can also do it. So what you hand in here is the same thing you can hand in as the assignment for next week. Just do it this week and that's fine. To show me that you know how to navigate between, the challenge and navigate to the assignments, which is this one. So you're just going to hand in the same thing here and the same thing over here, which is today, Intro to Photoshop, Abstract Challenge. I'm not always going to give you challenges, but from time to time, I'm going to just kind of engage you into participating with this online delivery. So you're going to hand in some stuff just to see where you're at with some of your learning abilities, okay? All right, so that's pretty much the main thing, guys. As far as the Blackboard setup goes, you're gonna obviously see more modules. Like as we move on through the weeks, you're gonna see module 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right to 14. Okay, so this will build as we go along. I don't want to overwhelm you and just throw everything at you in one shot. So I'm gonna gradually build this. I'll give you like a sneak peek into the next week though, so you kind of see what's happening this week and next week, and that's how you're gonna keep track of everything. All right. Announcements. I threw one at you the other day. This is the welcome message. So that one just basically, from time to time I'll say, hey, how's it going? Hope you guys having a good day, good week. I do this just to kind of test my signals out to you guys, okay? So this was just to tell you, can't wait to see you guys today, this morning, and welcome to the course. Sometimes I might have to send you a message and say, hey, I'm in Chicago next week. I'm doing an actual meeting or a seminar. I'll do the online class and maybe postpone it for an hour or something. Things happen, right? So that's why we use the messages. All right. Alrighty. Anybody else? So I see more people joined us now. Maybe some of you had more familiarity with the link and the tools. All right, everyone's good. So we have I'll get to see you guys in person maybe this semester. I'll pop by one of your classes. So we have Abhishek, we have Abhishekini, we have Daniel, we have Graeme, Jack, Jada, Julia, Leanne, Mia, Skylar, Ursula, and Yasmin. Okay, so we have that's our cohort for today. I think I have a little more students on my roster, so we have a few people missing today. So maybe we'll catch them next time. Alrighty, so let's go back to my Blackboard here. Now that we've finished with Blackboard, do you guys have any questions? I'm going to exit this as well. All your classes should be very similar in resemblance with this Blackboard.
See the screen. Can't you see the screen on my Teams?
Sorry, you can't see the screen?
Yeah, no.
Let's see here. What screen can't you see? The one I'm sharing?
Yes.
Can you see it now?
No. Error happened.
All right. Let's see. Can the rest of you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe are you using a PC or a Mac computer? Is this Daniel?
PC.
PC, eh? All right. It's hard to help you from this end over here. Maybe you can a PC. I'm thinking here what you can do. So you can't see my screen at all. Well, what do you see? What are you looking at right now? What are you seeing?
See, this is for about you, me. This screen you. This four white screens and me recording. This four white screen and me recording this.
Okay, so here's the thing, Daniel. I'm recording this video. What I want you to do later is go back to Blackboard, click on the YouTube channel, and you can watch the video, okay? And then you got to get the IT to help you with your screen because I can't really do anything from my end right now. If I was there with you right now, I can probably try to figure it out. But for me to start guessing every little thing that can happen right now, it's going to be absurd. Okay, so just hang tight. Just participate. And then what I'm going to do after is just go back and watch the video, okay?
Which video? Where?
Well, I haven't posted it yet. When I'm done the lecture, I'm gonna post it after, okay?
Can I just turn it off and restart it again?
You can try that as well, yeah. Try restarting it again. Maybe that'll help you actually, okay? Okay, all right. Alrighty, so then let's continue here. So we have, like I said, we have our whole Blackboard set up. What I need you guys to do now is, I'm gonna ask you, did you guys get Photoshop yet? Do you guys have the Adobe Creative Cloud license? Let me just keep your hands up. Let me see. Just raise your hand so I know who's got the applications. Okay, that's a good half of you. So the other half of you don't have the applications yet. Okay, because I know from what I heard yesterday, it takes like 5 business days for these people to get back to you, right? So, okay, thanks.
Excuse me, sorry. I just filled out the form to get the student discount for the Adobe for the Creative Cloud license, and like I have Photoshop and Adobe already, but I wasn't sure what would be the next step for me to like you just said, do I just have to wait for them to respond back to me and I get the other programs?
I think so. From what I was told, this is our first time doing this with this new method of getting the applications to you. From what I was told, you have to wait for them to get back to you and then give you the email, the link, whatever you need to do to get the discount. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You know what else? You're very welcome. You know what else though? You can also do this. You can also contact IT, but also if you look at the let me go to my thing here. Can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, something weird's happening with my when I went back here. Request log code. Okay, my Blackboard's messed up. But there's an email there that I included. You can email that person there that's there on the email. If it takes longer than 3 to 5 business days with this whole thing, see if you can email that person or contact your support. We have a lot of good support at Humber here. Support at humber.ca. There's all kinds of IT support for you guys. Just reach out to them if you have any issues, and I'm sure they're going to help you, okay? All right. Perfect. This is really this is the weirdest thing. I'm getting this message here. Do you guys have accessing Blackboard at all? Like the Photoshop class link? Because I'm getting this weird message request log code error here. I'm gonna have to just maybe restart my my window. Okay, so I'm just gonna log out and sign back in quickly. Don't worry, you hang tight, guys. Don't go anywhere. I'm just kind of quickly debugging this on my end over here. Oh, you know what I had to do? I think because I logged in with another. I have 3 different Outlook emails. Sometimes it does conflict with the other ones. So I'm going to go back here again. Let's see. Let's see here. So 96. Every time you log into these things, it gives you the authenticate your account. So you might have to go through some of these steps here, unfortunately. So this one's fine. And this one's fine. Okay, we're back in business, guys. I was a little worried for a second because it didn't let me access my course. That's the last thing. All right, so let's go ahead and yeah, thanks. Let's go ahead and move on with the Photoshop program now. What I'd like to do is if you don't have the software yet, don't worry, this will be recorded. You can always watch the video later and do the basics. But I'm going to give you a quick introduction of Adobe Photoshop right now. So as I open up Adobe Photoshop, there's many ways to open the software, depending if you're using a Mac or a PC. David, I know I had some technical issues earlier. First thing I asked him was, what computer are you using, Mac or PC? So he had a PC, and regardless of that, I mean, sometimes I can help people with, doesn't matter what system you're using. The application works the same. The only difference is the main shortcuts. Instead of Command, we use Control, like copy and paste, for example. Option is Alt on the PC. That's the replacement key. Shift is the same. Okay, so between Shift, Alt, or Option, or Command, or Control. Those are the main shortcut variations of most software that you're going to be engaging in, as far as Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, things like that. Another way to open Photoshop is through your applications. If you have a PC, It's under your Windows applications. You can use your task bar, okay? Or this is called on the Mac, it's called a dock. So dock bar or task bar, different terms for different platforms. This is Photoshop right here. So you can open it by clicking on the application. Okay, same thing. You'll launch the program. You'll recognize this icon, this very popular icon with, it's called PS for Photoshop. All right, just like the other icons are also recognizable for other programs. This is your Illustrator icon for your digital drawing class, which you maybe had or haven't had yet. I'm not sure. And your other popular class that you're doing this semester is Adobe InDesign. That's your page layout class. I believe the other class is your typography class. That one you might use Illustrator a little bit. And then you have the web design class, which is with Felicia, and you're going to be doing some, programming, HTML, Visual Studio, I think is the program you use. You can use any text editor for that. But those are your applications that you need to work with this semester. So let's open Photoshop, like I said, and we're going to look into the interface. It's a pretty busy and intimidating interface at first if you're not used to it. But the main thing to take away here is what your purpose is basically. So most of the time we come here, we create a new file. Unless you have an existing file that you're working with, then you simply open that file by double clicking on it or opening it from the actual application itself. So you can use the main interface platform icons here, or you can use the menu items and do it this way, open, okay, instead of just going to open here. So a lot of the menus reflect the interface that's presented to you in the application as well, okay? If we create a new file, it's going to give us another window by asking us what type of document are we creating. So you have something called recents, and recents is some of the more recent documents you've created or you've used. Saved, that's exactly that. Photo, for photos, some more photographic type of design formats, like picture frames and things like that. You want to frame something, print something. I think it's print related in most cases. Speaking of print related, there's a print option as well, which is geared towards prints. Notice how the resolution for both of these are at 300. Resolution determines the quality of the pixels that are generated within that given space. The greater the resolution, the better the quality. So if you see 300 pixels per square inch, that's exactly that. Now, if you go to web, for example, if you're making a website or a mobile app, the resolution is different. It's 72. Because 72 is the basic resolution used for, this is not new, guys. This is like, wow, over 25 years now, maybe 30. This rule hasn't changed. So 72 pixels is what you put on a screen, a monitor, a television set, a projector, everything. Now, the greater the depth, the more screen size, the more pixels you have. So this is always 72, but this changes. So if you have like a 4K television at home, this is probably in the 4,000 pixels. If you have 2,000 pixels, it's 2K, but this always stays the same at 72, right? Whereas print is different. Print is, you first of all, you don't measure print in pixels, right? You measure print in inches. And if we're in Europe right now, we would measure it perhaps in centimeters, different metric systems for different parts of the world, right? So here in North America, we use imperial metric units, so we use inches. And most things are measured in inches, like, your print document, when you go to Staples or something, it's called letter size, and it's 8.5 by 11. This is the standard page of paper that you see in front of you. Whether you get a letter in the mail, or you see any type of letterhead, this is the most common format right here. So I would say 90% of the things that are printed out there in Toronto, let's say, or Canada, are this size right here, okay? Now you can switch between portrait or landscape. So this can be predetermine your purpose of what you're trying to make for what format and what size from the get-go, right? So resolution, the higher the resolution, the better the quality. So if this is a 300 and I'm producing an 8.5 by 11 document, I know when I print it, it's going to be pretty darn good because the resolution is quite high. Okay. Now, if I'm doing larger formats, like if I'm doing something like, I don't know, 4 feet by 10 feet, I'm going to up the resolution to like 600. So that's going to give me more detail for that format. I wouldn't go higher than this because then you're getting into a lot of the minuscule parts of the formats and quality of resolution. But 600, maybe 1200 is the most you can use, okay? But you're not going to concern yourself with this right now. Perhaps we're going to use 300 for the upcoming assignments. Even 200, honestly, is good, okay? Because that gives you just enough visual detail to see things nicely. Anything lower, you're compromising quality. Like magazines and those nice glossy magazines and prints that you see, publications, they go from 2 to 300 pixels. If you look at newspapers, they're like 150 because the paper's too thin for the ink to be too dense to go on that particular substrate, which is paper. So that's why you want to kind of understand this a little better. And it's my job to explain it to you because Photoshop has to deal with resolution. That's why photographers take good pictures, high quality resolution photos to produce good quality results. So it is what you bring in, basically. You can't magically make something like from the internet, get like a really crappy photo and magically change the resolution and make it good again. It's just kind of make the pixels blotchy and it's going to look very, very blurry. Okay. So you want to make sure you produce things from scratch at high resolution and you maintain it that way. You also want to consider changing your color mode because RGB is meant for, on-screen design. A red, green, and blue. That's what RGB stands for. It's good for monitors, websites, screens, cell phones, anything with a screen. Once you get into the print category, as we will in some of the projects coming up, we're going to use the CMYK model. The CMYK model is for printing. I don't know if you're familiar with the printing cartridges. You might have a printer at home. You have 4 cartridges. Cyan. Cyan's like a blue color, like this light blue color here. Magenta is like a pinkish tone color. Yellow is yellow. And K stands for black. So the mix between cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, percentage ranging from 0 to 100. It mixes any colors. You can get like a green or a brown, okay, or a purple, okay. These are the colors that are mixed to produce those variations of colors. So the two more, prominent color modes are RGB for web design and stuff you're going to make for the screen, or for print, you switch to CMYK. So you have to make sure you predetermine this beforehand before you start. Now, sometimes, myself included, I forgot to do this. I worked with RGB and later realized that I have to print something. It's not detrimental, but you can easily switch it to CMYK after. What's that going to do is just convert the colors to a different color mode. So it just communicates better and it looks a little more realistic. So you can switch it always, but I wouldn't go from here to there. It's more like from RGB to CMYK. You can do that. It's advisable not to, but you can. Okay. This is your background color. So white is usually the most common one because the paper is white. And whatever ink we put on the paper, it goes right on top of the white color. You can also change a different background color to start with as well. All right, orientation already explained. Portrait or landscape. Notice how these two things switch. Artboards is something we'll get into later on. It's just when you create multiple pages for whatever documentation you need. So right now, we're just going to leave it unchecked. We don't need to use artboards. I'm just going to complicate matters. These are your different sizes. Letter size is the most popular one. Legal size is slightly longer. It's 14 inches. So you have a more, like if you see invoices and other type of legal documents are longer like that. Not as popular, but they're still circulating. Tableau is one of my favorite ones. That's the biggest one you can print on a conventional printer. Some printers, I mean, not all printers, but some can print tabloid. Tabloid's like putting 2 of these side by side. It's like putting 2 of these, like 2 8.5s by 11, because this is 17 by 11, which means if you add 8.5 and 8.5, you get 17. So two of these put together gives you this. Now, why is this so important? Because you can then create a design catered to a large format, which is inexpensive to print and produce and whatever you want to do with it, frame it and stuff. But you can also create a publication, like an actual flyer or a magazine or a little booklet out of this format. Because when you switch it to landscape, you can create a little booklet that's 8.5 folded in half. Because if you fold this in half, if you divide 17 by half, it's 8.5. So if you fold this paper in half, you get a little, like a brochure. So if you're a strategic designer, you can make an actual double-sided design that looks something like that. I'll show you an example of something that I did recently myself for one of my good clients I work with and my partner. It's a dental supply company, and we did a little flyer, like for the trade shows coming up. We have a lot of those happening soon. What the heck is this thing here now? Iodite. I think it's this one. And I do have a lot of files. What's this one here? Right. I'll just show you this one here. So this one, for example, we fold it in half and we have different, so you have 4 pages. So you can put this together in 11 by 17 format, and then you're going to get an actual, brochure, double-sided printed brochure out of this. This is a trifold. So this is a longer one. This is also double-sided. But this one's a big format that folds in half. So that this is why you can't use this format. You got to use the other one to fold it in half as well. Okay. All right. So moving forward now, I still wanted to show you that file that I was looking for. And I'm just gonna see if I can, I'll show it to you another time when I find it. You know what? Before I do that, let me give you guys a quick break as I go forward. Let's grab a quick 10-minute break. Okay, guys? Stretch your feet, rest your eyes. We're gonna come back in 10 minutes. The time is 10 a.m. We'll meet back here at 10:10. We'll continue with the class. I'm gonna keep the recording going because I don't want to interrupt it. So when we come back, we'll just continue with the application. Okay? So let's do that. I'll see you guys back here in 10 minutes. Okay? And Daniel, hopefully you get your screen fixed as well. All right, guys. See you in 10 minutes.